Hi everybody, welcome back to Sunshine Soap and Candle Company. I hope that you have enjoyed my recent videos where I've shared with you how to make a tallow facial and body balm and also a tallow body butter. Today we're going to be revisiting using tallow in our formulations, and I'm going to be sharing with you how to make a tallow soap. Actually, I'm going to be sharing two different formulas with you today, and you can find both of the recipes in the description box below. Although you can find these formulas down in the description box below, I will also be publishing a full written step-by-step tutorial with the formula, including percentages, so you can scale up or down as you like, and that will be over on my Patreon campaign. If you haven't had a chance to check out my campaign yet, I hope that you'll go over and check it out this month. There's so much to take advantage of. So not only will you be able to access today's formulas, you'll be able to access formulas dating back to July of 2019. So we're almost at 6 years now of weekly formulas and tutorials. So I hope you'll give it a try. And if you like the tallow formulas, this will be the third one over there that we're publishing, and you can access it all in my tallow collection. So this is a great way to connect with me and other makers. We've built a wonderful community over there, and your help really does help to support our small business and keep operations running, and to help me keep doing what I'm doing best, which is to share with you my weekly formulas and tutorials. All right, let's get started. All right, the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and weigh out our lye and water solution. So if you've never made soap before, this is a very caustic material in its raw form, lye. So once it mixes with the water, it puts off fumes and gets very hot. So you want to make sure that you're protecting your skin with gloves, long sleeves, and goggles. So the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and weigh out some distilled water. Now, you always want to put the lye into the water, not the other way around, because you could create a little bit of a volcano type reaction where everything comes out over the top. So always do your water first. Weighing out 7 ounces of water. We're making a small 2-pound batch. All right. Next, we're going to go ahead and weigh off our lye. So you just want to make sure you're in a well-ventilated area. We're weighing off 3.23 ounces of lye. Okay. Then we're just going to give this a good stir. Give this a good stir, and I'm going to set this aside to cool under my stove. Next, we're going to go ahead and weigh out the oils and fats necessary to make this soap. And so the first thing we're going to weigh out is our beef tallow. Now we're using hard beef tallow, also known as suet. And tallow makes a wonderful addition to soap because it's highly moisturizing. It's very mild, it's creamy, it's going to give you a nice and creamy lather with some lotion-like qualities. It's going to make a nice hard bar of soap, and it is inexpensive to source. This one is Hard Tallow by Tender Loving Tallow. You can find them on Etsy. I'll go ahead and place the link to their shop also in the description box for you. This has been a really good quality, and we're just weighing off 5.5 ounces. Now you can make beef tallow soap different ways. You can use more than I'm using here. You can use less. I've even seen 100% tallow. Just know that for a more balanced bar, we're going to be adding in more different oils into this, just to create a cleansing and also moisturizing, luxurious bar of soap. So I'm using the beef tallow in this formula at 25% of my recipe. There we go. Next, we're going to be weighing off some coconut oil. Now I'm using coconut oil for its wonderful cleansing properties, and also it's nice lather. So coconut oil makes a really nice lather in your soap. And I'm using it at the same rate as the beef tallow. I'm using it at 25% of my formula at 5.5 ounces. This will help with the hardness of the bar. It gives it nice big bubbles, and coconut oil, as you know, probably is very cleansing. Next, we're going to go ahead and weigh in our liquid oils. So the first liquid oil we're adding in is olive oil. Olive oil is very gentle and mild. It has mild cleansing properties, great for sensitive skin. So we're going to go ahead and add this in at 18% of our recipe, which is 4 ounces. Next, we're going to go ahead and add in some castor oil. Castor oil is lovely because it enhances bubbles in your formula, and it also is very cleansing as well. We're using it at 4.5%, so 1 ounce. 4.5 is good. You don't really want to go above 4% on your castor oil because it can make your bars too sticky. All right, and the last oil we're going to weigh off is some avocado oil. Avocado oil is a great emollient. It's going to be similar to olive oil, but it has just a very emollient feel to it, so it's going to help the overall slip. We're going to add this in at 27.27%, which is 6 ounces. All right. Now I'm going to go ahead and melt this down in the microwave and get everything completely warmed through and melted. But then while we're waiting for these oils and lye to cool down, I'm going to go ahead and share with you the making of the other batch, and I'll go over that recipe as we're making it. All right, so essentially this is the exact same recipe that I just weighed off for you, but instead of using coconut oil at 25% and beef tallow at 25%, this is 50% tallow. So this is going to be less cleansing, and it's going to have less lather. It's going to be more moisturizing and lotion-like. So I'll give you a lather test of both bars when everything is cured tomorrow. But that's just the only difference. So I wanted to experiment with both and also share with you the results of a no coconut oil versus a coconut oil mixed with tallow. So this one has no coconut oil. So it does solidify at room temperature. So I've had to warm this up a little bit because I weighed off my oils yesterday. So just want to make sure we're not too hot here. Okay, we're sitting at exactly 120 degrees on the oils, which is great. So I'm going to go ahead and get my lye and water solution here. And we're going to go ahead and make some soap. This is going to be an all-natural bar of soap. Then using my stick blender to just go ahead and emulsify. Just bringing this to a light trace. And then we're going to divide the batch in half. Again, this is just a small 2-pound batch. We're making 2 2-pound batch. And I'm just eyeballing this. It doesn't have to be exactly even. I'm just sort of eyeballing. And then next I'm going to add in some bee pollen powder and some colloidal oats. So this is going to kind of be a 50-50 bar. You guys have seen me do this before, where 1/2 is colloidal oats and the other half is something else. Today we're going to do a teaspoon of colloidal oats in this half. And then we're going to be using some bee pollen powder for its beautiful natural color and also its vitamin content. So I might need to add more than that. We're just going to go ahead and give it a blend and see what we get color-wise. And I'm also going to be using 2 different essential oils here as well. And the orange essential oil is going to go in this half. So it's going to be an orange color anyway. So we're just giving this a blend to get those oats mixed in. So this is going to be a very Soothing bar of soap, great for sensitive skin. Yes, it gives it a nice golden color. There will be some speckles in there probably just due to the bee pollen powder, but that's okay. I kind of like it when it looks like that in my other bee pollen soap. So this is what we have going on right now. So we're just going to go ahead and weigh off our essential oils and get those mixed in by hand at first, and then we'll blend. So into the golden bee pollen half, I'm going to be adding in some orange 10 times. This is from Brambleberry. Absolutely love this orange fragrance oil. It's my favorite. And then I'm adding in some patchouli oil into this side. Patchouli essential oil. So orange and patchouli, I don't really care for patchouli by itself, but I really like it mixed with certain things. Like it smells really good with orange and any other type of citrus. Particularly orange, I really like it mixed with. And it also smells good with roses. So if you have rose essential oil or rose absolute, it smells very good mixed with rose. So we're already kind of reaching a medium sort of trace here. So I'm not sure I'm going to do much blending, if at all, but this is going to be a gorgeous looking bar of soap. Really am loving the color on that. So pretty. So I'm just going to give it a little bit of a blend just to make sure that our essential oils are well combined. That's all I'm going to do. And then we're going to go ahead and pour it into our little 2-pound mold here. I got this little mold from Nurture Soap. I've had it for a long time, but this is great for like smaller batches or test batches. So I'm going to go ahead and start off by just pouring in my orange, and then we're going to slowly rotate and just get a nice swirl. The soap batter texture is absolutely gorgeous. I'm hoping the orange doesn't overtake. I hope we do get some nice white swirling in there, but sometimes when you use orange essential oil, it can migrate and the whole bar will turn orange. I have noticed anyway. But we're gonna give this a try. Perfect. 2-pound batches are really manageable. Typically, you have enough time to work with it. It doesn't set up too quickly. So I like this size batch. And I typically make about a 5-pound batch at a time. So we're just going to go ahead and create a little bit of a swirl on top. I'm just going figure 8. All right, there's the first batch with 50% tallow, and then we're moving on to the second batch. All right, we're back to go ahead and make the second batch here, and we're just gonna go ahead and emulsify this. Super light trace. Again, I have a design in mind here that's gonna require some fluid soap, so hopefully we don't overblend. I'm sitting right around 100 degrees on both oils and lye and water solution. Again, this is the batch with the 25% tallow and 25% coconut oil. And that's literally all I'm gonna do. I really need this batch to stay very fluid. So I'm gonna divide it while it still hasn't even really reached trace yet. It's just barely combined. So I'm gonna be pouring these into some containers that I have a love-hate relationship, but I'm feeling like I kind of need it for this particular recipe here. So I don't know, you guys can let me know in the comments if you use these type. This is so that you can make intricate swirls and things like that, just with the way that it pours out of a skinny spout here. And it can also help you get down lower into your molds so you can pour closer to the bottom. I rarely use these because my soap tends to get too thick to pour nice and fluid through the skinny opening. So what ends up happening is I get a very inconsistent design, and it just causes frustration. And they're kind of a little bit difficult to clean out once the soap gets into that skinny part of the spout. So I don't know, do you guys use these? Do you like them? Let me know in the comments. I'm actually going to go for a little bit more of an even, try to make this closer to even than not. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, so for this one, we're going to do the same exact additives and essential oil combination here. So we're going to go ahead and do a teaspoon of this gorgeous bee pollen powder, and then a teaspoon of colloidal oats in this half. And then we have our orange essential oil and our patchouli essential oil going in now. And then I am just going to go super light with the stick blender just to get everything combined. Okay, just reached a super light trace here, but would like to make sure that it's going to stay combined. Okay, so I have an idea here for making these into like a 50-50 in some soap rounds. So I'll show you what I mean by that. Okay, it's tricky because you want your soap to be thick enough that it's not going to totally muddy up your design, but you also need it to be super fluid, right? So that they come out. Okay, so I'm going to try to do this. So this one wants to thicken up just slightly, so we're just going to loosen it. See, and then that soap gets stuck up in the spout, so we're just going to go ahead and continue pouring. And you can just kind of come in and stir a little bit. It just is hard to pour through those spouts, even though my soap is still very fluid. It just gets kind of bottled up in the spout. Okay, now before these start to set up, I'm going to take my chopstick and just go back and forth like this, kind of drag the color. And that was kind of my idea here. We're doing just a back and forth. Okay, we might have to just go this way now. See, this is part of this process with these containers that just kind of bothers me. Look at, you can still pour pretty, I mean, the soap is staying fluid and doing a nice job, but then it just gets to be too thick to pour nicely through that pour spout. Okay, so this was enough for 10 rounds. This was another 2-pounder. Just gonna go ahead and finish up the design on these two. I cannot wait to unmold these. They're gonna look so neat. And the more fluid ones have a bigger kind of swirl, where the thicker ones are definitely showing a little bit different of a design. So I'm just gonna go ahead and spritz these down with rubbing alcohol. We'll allow these to set up overnight. And then I'll be back to share the unmolding with you. Super excited, and also a little bit of a lather demo. All right, it's time to go ahead and unmold this soap. And again, this is a process I never usually share, at least with my loaf molds. I just usually have them unmolded before the cutting, but I thought I would just share with you. I just tape down the sides of the silicone here because, as you can see, the silicone is a little bit misshapen, so I tape it down. It makes it easier to pour. And then I just start to draw it up out of the mold like that. Makes it a little bit easier. This mold also has two little holes at the bottom that you can push the mold through as well. But there you go. This is absolutely a gorgeous color. Loving the natural color of the orange essential oil and the bee pollen powder. And remember, this is the one that is 50% tallow, so it's set up rather quickly. It didn't warm up too much in the mold. As you'll notice, the rounds are a darker color. They did go through a gel phase. I was a little worried that they weren't going to unmold today, so I did put them in the oven for a little bit of oven process just to get them warm and ready to unmold. I didn't discount the water on this one either because I wanted a long time to work to get that swirl design. So I did end up putting them in the oven on the lowest setting, and then I just turned the oven off and then kept the light on in my oven and kept them in there overnight. And they went through a gel phase, so their color is a little darker. So my multiple bar cutter actually broke yesterday. Actually, I didn't break it. I took it out of the cupboard where I usually keep it, and the handle here was completely snapped in half, and it was bending inwards like this, so I couldn't use it at all. And shout out to my husband, he repaired it for me, so we're gonna get a little bit more use out of this, thank goodness, because I looked up a new one and they're about $400 now, and I've had this one for about 10 years. It's been such a good soap cutter. I got this one from Brambleberry. It's a multiple bar soap cutter, and I was just marveling at how long I'd had it and how great it had been working the last time I cut soap. So it was just funny that I opened up the cupboard yesterday and it was totally broken, but he was able to fix it, so I'm glad about that. Okay, I just want to make sure we're getting full bars of soap here. All right, so here's the small piece. Beautiful swirls, beautiful natural color. Isn't that awesome? Smells really good. Smells lightly of orange essential oil and a tiny bit of patchouli. The patchouli, I notice, doesn't stay, at least this brand of essential oil that I'm using, doesn't stick that well, so it's faintly patchouli. We'll see how it cures out. All right, well, let's go ahead and unmold those rounds. Those turned out lovely, so beautiful. I'll clean those edges up too, but overall just a beautiful soap. I'll show you some finished pictures at the end of this when they're all cleaned up. This one's gorgeous. There they are, all unmolded and cut. If you're interested and you're still here and you want to see the lather demonstration between these two bars, stay tuned. I'm going to share with you how they lather up. All right, time for the lather demo here. So I'm first going to demonstrate the one that is 50% tallow. Here we go. And as suspected, it's got a low but very lotion-like, creamy, luxurious lather. Actually, I really like it. Of course, this bar is going to continue to get harder over the course of about 4 to 6 weeks. So I'm just showing you a lather test so you can get an idea of what the lather is. But you wouldn't want to use the soap for about another month just to allow it time to harden up, because otherwise it'll just dissolve too quickly in the shower. But we're getting a very creamy lotion-like lather. I wish you guys could feel this for yourselves, but these will be on my website in 4 weeks or so, so you will be able to feel this if you like. But I just wanted to show you, it's very creamy, low, creamy, lotion-like moisturizing lather, actually. Feels really good. I typically like more bubbles and more lather. You guys know that by now. But some people really like a creamy, low lotion-like lather, and that one, really nice. So here's the one with 25% tallow and 25% coconut oil. So coconut oil is going to add bubbles. So right away we're getting a much bigger, bubblier lather and more cleansing properties. Still feels super like hydrating and moisturizing compared to soaps with no tallow. So there's the difference right there. Look at that, just a beautiful bubbly, creamy lather. So overall, personally, I think this one with coconut oil is a bit more of a balanced bar of soap, just because you're getting the cleansing properties, the lather, the hydration and moisture. So personally, I like that one a little bit better. But if you're someone that's not like big on lather or doesn't really care and would rather have more of a lotion-like moisturizing experience, lower cleansing properties, the other bar is good too. But there it is, everybody. And that is how you make a tallow bar of soap 2 different ways. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up. Please leave me some comments and questions below. Share this video with a friend, and why not subscribe to my channel? All right, everyone, catch you on the next video. Bye. Keep shining.